Hey, what's up, guys? Hope everybody's doing well and having a great day. Welcome back to another live stream. It is Friday Eve, Thursday, February the 12th. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Yes, we're just 24 hours away, less than 24 hours away. In some parts of the world, it is almost Friday. I think in Japan it's already Friday. But anyway, another Friday right around the corner. Speaking of Fridays, I've got something to share with you guys about Fridays in this coming 2026 year that you may not know. We're also going to look at some unusual observations that have been showing up here recently. I've got more unusual observations to share with you guys regarding an event that was noticed in multiple states spanning over 1,000 miles. Speaking of thousands of miles, there have been multiple airplane incidents here recently spanning around the world. We're going to touch base on that, amongst other interesting things too. What's up, Rick? Good to see everybody here. Good morning, Skull from the Philippines. Ernie, Berlinda, good to see everybody here. Who was the first one there? Gurley? Gurley was the very first one to leave that. Make sure you guys hit that like button before I forget. I always do forget that. Hey, it just helps the video. That's all. We need all the help we can get over here. Check this out. I know there's a big superstitious, folklore about Friday the 13th, right? Some people don't like Friday the 13th, and some people could take it or leave it. Well, no matter where you stand, tomorrow is Friday the 13th. March has a Friday the 13th, and November has a Friday the 13th. So it's kind of unusual, but not uncommon to have a Friday the 13th once a year, let alone twice. 3 times in 2026, there's going to be a Friday the 13th. For those of you that follow the whole Friday the 13th thing, I wanted to touch base real quick on some incidents that have been occurring here recently. We talked about airplane incidents and solar activity. We talked about this a couple of years ago. How could an airplane flying at 39,000 feet not be impacted by an intense geomagnetic storm, solar storm, CMEs, and things like that? You would think the electronics would at least, sense the abundance of energy in the atmosphere. Well, apparently there is some truth to that. And we notice from time to time an uptick in activity regarding airplanes. Large and small, sometimes just small, sometimes large. You're looking at a map of the last 48 hours of incidents around the world involving aircraft. And I want to share with you guys just real briefly the aircrafts that were having some sort of technical difficulties. We talked about this one here the other day, but I wanted to bring this up again because it ties in with the other ones. An airplane that landed on a street in Georgia narrowly. I mean, nobody got hurt, luckily. I mean, the injuries were minor, thank goodness. That was the only good thing about that. But an airplane landed on a road in Georgia. There was also this airplane, for those of you guys that didn't see this. This occurred back about a week and a half ago. An airplane took off from Miami. For whatever reasons, it mysteriously turned around and made a beeline directly back to Miami. For unknown reasons, they declared some sort of an in-air emergency. Nobody really knows exactly what happened. That was above Cuba. Here's the airplane that landed in the middle of Gainesville, Georgia. Used the street as a runway, made a safe landing. Yes, obviously the wing clipped a car or two, but overall, everybody was fine. And here's where the airplane took off, over here at Flight Radar 24. So does this tie in with solar activity? It could. Does it tie in with maybe some enhanced Schumann activity? Seems to be. There's a lot of activity going on with regard to the Schumann here recently. Some unusual signatures too. And right there is where that airplane landed, in Gainesville, Georgia. Right there on that street. You just saw it. Right there. Good Lord. And nobody was seriously hurt. That's the good part of that story right there. But what caused the airplane that one there? They said the engine failed. For no reason. He was just flying along like this one here. The engine failed. This was on the 10th. There were 6 in 48 hours around the world. That one there landed right here along the coast of Somalia. It too lost a wing, an engine, and it had something to do with engine failure. Here's another incident. That's the one over in Mogadishu, Somalia. Here's another one. A Boeing 737 makes a safe emergency landing. This was in Sydney, Australia, I believe. after something happened to the engine. Here's another incident over in South Korea involving a military helicopter. Went down on Monday. Another helicopter over in Libya. Same situation. Air Asia flight plunges 24,000 feet for some sort of a sudden emergency that happened with that airplane. That one was actually out of Sydney. So there was Sydney, Somalia, over here in South Korea, Libya, Nigeria was the other one I was talking about, and then over here in Georgia. So all of those incidents occurring in actually less than 48 hours. Looking at the last 72 hours of solar activity, doesn't directly tie into any major solar flares, but we have seen an increase in solar activity just this month. But right now, everything is, for the most part, quiet. Like the summit of Mount Kilauea, you're looking at it just sitting there smoldering, ready to start slinging that lava all over the place. And we know it is very capable of doing that. So there's the update on the airplane situation. And is it tied in with solar activity, the recent helicopters and airplanes, things like that? I think some of them possibly could be. Yes, absolutely. It does happen. It is a real thing. It's been documented here recently by scientists. In fact, I learned that over at spaceweather.com. We're also going to look at some earthquake activity in this video. As you guys all know, we've got the planetary alignment in place right now as I do this video. Earth, Mercury, Venus, and Mars, the sun being the main character, influencing all of this energy. None of us would be here if it wasn't for the sun keeping us all together. But for some reason, and we know why, an increase in the solar activity recently in the month of February and the recent planetary alignment. We've got a solar eclipse coming up, we got a lunar eclipse coming up, and we have rogue earthquakes popping off just today. Check this out. Eastern Wyoming, definitely not known for its earthquake activity. That one was a, 2.7, albeit these are small, but nevertheless, these are earthquakes in very rogue places. You've got an earthquake down here. This was a 3.0, I believe, in the Rocky Mountains. Are you serious right now? Right there. Smack dab in the middle of the Rocky Mountains. This one here in eastern Wyoming. You got one in southwestern Wyoming and southeastern Idaho. Come on, man. 2.1, 2.6, 2.7, 3.0. We've been anticipating these earthquakes as the planetary alignment's in full swing, man. And the earthquakes will pick up in intensity as we dive deeper into the planetary alignment. And we enter the full moon and these eclipses. The eclipse is only going to be visible from Antarctica regarding the sun eclipse, the solar eclipse. The lunar eclipse, we're going to bring it to you live from right out here in Arizona. I want to show you guys something also that originated from the sky. Check this out. Big old bright fireball video sent in from Calgary, Alberta, by AVCI. This occurred 2 nights ago. Check that out. We're going to zoom in and take a closer look at that. That was captured on a security camera at 6:17 a.m. Here we go in for a closer look. Not only was there one, but there was a fragment right there, creating a big one and a small one. Dove straight down above Calgary, Alberta. Excellent video, turning early morning into bright daylight, actually, but before the sun rose. Great video, once again, out of Calgary, Alberta. I've got some things to share with you guys regarding the snow situation. I have received here recently, just in the past probably 8 days, maybe 9, somewhere in that neighborhood, I've received videos of people attempting to melt snow that wouldn't melt. I've multiple videos of that, and the snow just simply would not melt. I've received videos of an unusual substance appearing in lawns, on lawns, after the snow melts. And I know some people say, oh no, that's just snow mold. Well, listen, I grew up in the Midwest, and I've seen plenty of snowstorms come and go in my lifetime. Never once did I see snow mold that looked like a plastic web. Never. This is snow mold right here. It completely trashes your lawn. You have to reseed your lawn. I've seen it. Okay, that's why I didn't even mention snow mold. This stuff that we're seeing and that people are freaking out over, and you're going to see another video of this weird stuff that people, they live in the snow. They're used to snow. Look at that. That's snow mold. It usually occupies the whole yard, not just a plastic web somewhere. Come on, man. I know there were some comments the other day, people talking about snow mold. No, what we're seeing and what people are sending in, they're smarter than that. They know it's not snow mold because they've seen it. This gentleman here was trying to literally torch the snow to get it to melt, and it wouldn't melt. A lot of it was turning black. Like I said, I had videos from people. I still have them. In fact, we can probably find one. Let's see, right in, where are we at? I've got like 9,000 videos down here, but that's okay. We've got a lot of material to share in this video. Here we go, snow vids and pics. Okay, people sharing videos of trying to melt snow in their sinks, wouldn't melt, not even a drop. That right there didn't melt. It just kind of, I don't know, melted. It turned black. That's a straight up flamethrower, man. If that's not going to make snow melt, I don't know what will. Young lady here trying the same thing, but on a much smaller scale. Young man Scott R. out of Midland, North Carolina. He brought the snow in above his sink, highly anticipating the snow to change from a solid to a liquid. Didn't happen. Just stayed right there, turned black. I mean, what? Like I said, I grew up in the snow. I never saw snow like that. And you know something else, guys? We're going to talk about this later. There have been some other changes that I've noticed, big time changes regarding our environment, our outdoors. And it's not anything necessarily nefarious, but it's an observation that I've noticed here recently, just in the last probably 10 years. And I think a lot of you will resonate with this too. We're not going to talk about it today. I got to gather some material on it. We'll talk about it in the next day or two. But I guarantee you, it'll resonate with you folks, especially you folks that have been around the block a time or two. Wayne out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, trying the same thing. He's got a much smaller blowtorch, sending out a blue flame on the white ice. Did not melt, not one drop. Tamika, Philadelphia, same scenario. We're going to get to what people are seeing and people are kind of freaking out about. Here you go. Does that look like snow mold? Are you serious right now? Here's snow mold. Man, that's not even in the same galaxy. That is a plastic web on the ground. AJ out of Arkansas saw that. And again, I never saw anything like that whenever I saw snow seasons come and go, man. Nah, no, that's not mold. Here's example number 2. We're going to get to some more examples. Connorsville, Indiana, Richard K. This is the snowstorm that just went through the eastern half of the United States. There was an ice storm too. Look at that. Does that look like snow mold? Let's go ahead and type. It's a web. And again, if it were, it wouldn't just stay right there. It would be all over the whole yard. Nah, come on, man. The people are even saying that looks like a plastic web. Here's example number 3. Here's the latest video that I wanted to share with you. Lisa shared this video of the snow melt residue. She's never seen this before. Check this out.
Mr. MBB333. This is proof of that last snowstorm across the East Coast and across the center of the country is not real snow. It looks like a plastic web.
Plastic web.
It's gross, and I see it all around the yard in several different places. Now that we've had 2 days around 50 degrees, and all of this should have been melted, but it's not. I still have a lot of it down in the hollow. This stuff is not real. That is not real snow, people.
She's saying this isn't real snow, and see how she described it as a plastic web? And it's nowhere else in the yard. If it were snow mold, it would be everywhere, all over the place. It's not. It's just rogue and random, kind of like the flashing lights, just rogue and random. This stuff that we're seeing with these earth changes and stuff like that is literally rogue and random. There it is right there. Plastic webbing. Another example. This was just sent in today. Plastic webbing right there. Another example. Plastic webbing right there is another example. You can't make this stuff up, man. Just take a look around, especially you folks that just encountered this big snowstorm that again extended from the Mississippi all the way over to the East Coast up into New England. Some people saw ice. Some people saw heavy ice up in the northern Mississippi areas and northern Louisiana. In fact, they just now got the power restored in northern Louisiana. I mean, they had an incredible ice storm there, and those ice storms wreak havoc on the power grid. They really do. This video here was sent in by Kyle Wood out of Kentucky, February 1st. This was actually during the snowstorm, right as the snow was falling. You can still see snow falling during the snowstorm. They got a measurable snow there. You can see several inches on the ground of this wild and bizarre snow that just won't melt. And people are kind of freaking out about it. They're like, what is this stuff? Where did it come from? You know, people are wanting to know. They're trying to get this stuff to melt. It won't melt in some cases. Now it melts naturally. Yes, absolutely. But when a flamethrower won't just cause this to vaporize within a matter of a couple of seconds, you know, makes you wonder. Like the gentleman right there was feeling it. He's like, what is going on there? They were very perplexed at their flamethrower experiment not having a bigger, a more dramatic effect on the snow than what we're seeing right there. Good video by Kyle out of Kentucky. Looking at the Earth phase. This is we got this coming up here in just over a month and a half. We could see a sun diver, big comet coming in that was just recently discovered over 200 million miles away from the sun. It is inbound, and we could see some activity like this here real soon. So stick around, don't go anywhere. That's coming up. We got a lot of things to talk about. And one of the things I'm going to talk about here coming up in the next day or two is something that I think some of you probably have forgotten about. You probably have forgotten about, but I haven't. It's something that I've noticed that has changed exponentially just in the last 20, 25 years. And once I bring it up, those of you, like I said, that have been around the block a while, you're going to remember, you're going to be like, oh yeah, I don't see that anymore. What happened? Where did it go? We're going to talk about that later. I want to do some more research though on that topic. So I have more to talk about. But once again, guys, expect earthquakes to pick up here in the next few days as we dive deeper into this planetary alignment. We get closer and closer to these eclipses and the sun starts to gain momentum again. We're watching something on the, can't really see it yet, but we're watching something on the backside of the sun. We're watching activity occurring on the backside of the sun that could instigate solar activity, a lot of solar activity here in the next week. We see solar activity increasing with the planetary alignment and all that. We're bound to see it. It's just how this all kind of works. Earthquake activity will increase. We saw a flurry as we entered the unique planetary alignment about 3 days ago. There was a flurry of earthquakes all within an hour, moderate earthquakes. So the stage is being set. So we'll have to wait and see what happens, and we're watching it like a hawk. All right, guys, it's good to see everybody here on this Friday Eve. Once again, tomorrow is Friday the 13th, and there is going to be 3 Friday the 13ths in 2026. Thanks for watching. Have a super day, and be safe out there.